Victory for Jeff Horn. His first fight since the controversial decision win over Manny Pacquiao. And there will be nothing to hear from the judges tonight as Jeff Horn, down the stretch of this fight, kept pouring it on and was landing that right hand time and time again, targeting the left eye of Gary Corcoran.
If this is Horn trying to make weight, drop 7 kilograms in a week, I'm impressed. Maybe there should be a Jeff Horn diet plan.
For those who didn't see it, Jeff Horn defended his title today. He was getting beat up at the beginning of the fight. I was like, oh, man, he's going to lose. But you know what? Jeff Horn got hurt. You know, now I understand a lot of people feel that he got a gift decision because the fight was in Australia against Manny Pacquiao. There's been conspiracy theories about how he's secretly backed by the mafia up in Australia, all kind of shit. But regardless of the fact, in April, they announced it that he's going to be fighting Terrence Crawford in Vegas, and he didn't seem too happy about it. So we're going to watch a little bit of highlights. We're going to watch his post-fight interview. We're going to talk about it. And then, man, we're done with Lomachenko versus Rigondeaux. We're done with it. You know, we can talk a little briefly about it. But Katie Taylor is fighting at 1 p.m. over on the Showtime like page. If you're here in the States, I completely forgot about it. So we're not going to be here, you know, for no 2 hours or anything like that. But we're going to talk about in this video the 147-pound division, the titles, the mandatories, the politics behind the fights, why certain fights can't happen, and everything involving it. I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. Please subscribe. Yeah, things have changed around here a lot. But then again, I told you things were going to change around here. Everything I said I was going to do, I've done. You know, you got to live your life like that. If you say you're going to do something, then do it. Let's watch some highlights.
Cutting weight to get down to 147, rehydrating, and as he did against Pacquiao, just looks the part of the bigger, more fully bodied guy.
I forgot what I was going to say. For those who don't know, this fight was early this morning Eastern Standard Time. So, for example, their ring walks was at 6:30 a.m. Right now, it's 11:39 a.m. You know, so I've been up. I'm always up that early for the most part. But you know, I was like, oh shit, some fucking early Wednesday morning boxing. You know, I was hyped, and it was on ESPN too. No, it was on regular ESPN early this morning before, you know, that fresh, brand new episode of Sports Center. You know, so I was hyped. I ain't gonna lie, I was hyped.
And then shows that power in the later stages of this round as he was able to get to Gary Corcoran and didn't stop pumping in that right hand.
And he looked more graceful in this fight because he was not confronted with a great fighter and a great mobile fighter like Manny Pacquiao.
I'm waiting for them.
Saw Jeff Horn's family sitting ringside.
I don't mean to keep stopping the video, but people keep bitching at me. It's like, yo, for example, right? You don't see nobody else on YouTube doing what I'm doing right now. So listen, don't bite the hand that feeds you. It took a lot to get to this point. So obviously, I can't show the whole entire clips. That's going to get me motherfucking shut down. They already tried to shut me down. So just enjoy the shit that we can. I make sure that if I show you stuff, I show you key, meaningful shit, but I can't show you everything. You see what I'm saying? I can't do it that way. So just get off my back.
His dad watching the 29-year-old son who...
I'm looking for the highlights. Oh, here we go.
...to boxing after
Speaking
he was
of that, hold on.
bullied as a teen, and 9 years after his first amateur fight, finds himself as a world champion defending his title,
acting a little weird.
Sending back Gary Corcoran. Here's some of the continued work we saw throughout, Mark.
Splitting the guard with an uppercut. He spun him a couple times.
And then Benji Esteves, the longtime veteran referee from the New York area who has officiated so many world title fights, he said, I have seen enough. That cut over the eye is too much, and Horn is pouring it on.
Game challenger with nothing to be ashamed of as he heads back.
Gary Corcoran had a very bad cut over his eye. and that's why the referee stepped in to stop the fight. It was a very, very close fight. Now, of course, in people's opinions, they felt that no matter, you know, if Corcoran was winning the fight or not, the decision would have still went to Jeff Horn because it was in Vegas. But he legit won the fight. He seemed like he was gassing out. There's been so much talk of him, you know, losing. What's 7 kilograms? What's 7 you know, kilograms? Somebody do the math for me. In a week, he had to lose that in a week. So I guess that's bad. You know, I'm, you know, a little fucked up with the metric system. But he was having troubles making weight, and he was also having trouble making weight for the Pacquiao fight. For the most part, he's never fought above 147 pounds. But as you can see, when he comes into the ring, especially when he fought Pacquiao, he was huge.
35 seconds of round number 11. The winner by TKO victory, still undefeated, and still the WBO welterweight champion of the world, the welterweight fighting pride of Brisbane, Queensland, Australia, Jeff the Hornet.
Now watch. Okay, now pay attention to his post-fight interview. Corcoran. All right, thanks. Corcoran. Got you. All right, thanks. Pay attention to his post-fight interview. I don't know who this guy is. Maybe it's his pop, but he starts getting real close with Bob Arum. Did you know that Bob Arum just a couple of weeks ago admitted that he's been smoking pot since 1963? You got to pay attention to Bob Arum, yo. But anyway, no, pay attention to the post-fight interview, what he says about Terrence Crawford, and he doesn't seem too thrilled about it. But then pay attention to Bob Arum in the background. No disrespect. No disrespect.
Local favorite, the Queenslander. They held a parade and belt ceremony after his last win. Well, let's go up to Ben Damon.
Congratulations, Jeff Horn, still the world champion. Gee, we knew he was going to be tough. Did you expect Gary Corcoran to be that tough?
Oh, I knew he was coming here. I knew he had prepared. They'd come 3 weeks early. They were talking a smart game, and that's being confident before the fight, and that's what you have to do to come to try and win. And he definitely pushed me in there. I felt my time was a bit off, but managed to get him out of there in the end.
Were there any worrying moments in those early rounds when he was pressuring you? Did you look like you were starting to get a little bit fatigued, maybe worry about the pressure that was coming at you before you got your second wind?
Yeah, I was just getting my timing there. The whole fight I felt like it was a little bit off tonight, but I managed to clip him with a few good ones, and unfortunately our heads did come together as we've both got cuts on our heads again, so that's a bit of a shame, but yeah, most of it was caused by punches, I'm pretty sure.
Now, Bob Arum's just over here. He told me moments ago that it's time for everyone to book their plane tickets to Vegas because we're off in April. Is Terrence Crawford who you want next?
Look, it's a big possibility. If that's what everyone wants to see, I guess that's what's going to happen. It's all the entertainment business, of course.
Must have been nice here in Brisbane tonight, though, walking out as the champion for the first time in front of these adoring fans now.
Oh, it's great being able to defend here as well in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. It's such a fantastic place, and I wish we could bring more fights down here. I would just try as hard as I can to bring all those big fights here with the help of Top Rank and Juco Promotions. So thank you, guys.
Well, congratulations, Jeff Horn. We wait and see what is coming up next.
Yeah, thank you. I'd like to thank my corner team, Ben, Stephen, Adam, my coach Glenn, Dundee Kim, my sponsors, Hannay Lawyers, Oxmar Properties, Recon Solutions, Everlast, a whole heap of them. Guys, you do me. You wait me able to train full time as well as Juco. Thank you heaps, guys.
Thank you very much, Jeff Horn. We will have a word, though, with the challenger, Gary Corcoran.
He loves fighting in front of his home fans in Brisbane, but that cash jackpot awaits in Vegas with Bud Crawford. More to come with Jeff Horn's win when we return.
Come on. He don't seem like he too thrilled about that fight. He don't seem like he too thrilled about that fight. Y'all didn't sense that? That's the first thing I thought when I saw that. I was like, man, he don't want that fight. Do you think that he knows that people think that he's sacred food for Terrence Crawford? He don't want that. Come on. He don't want that fight. However, you know, he been stinging people. Jeff Horn been stinging people. You know, but see, here's the thing. Now he's got to venture outside of the Hornet's nest to Sin City, where the judges are just as fucked up. You know, but what if he beat Terrence Crawford? Hey, listen, he undefeated, man. Ain't nobody think he was going to do that to Manny, even though Manny wasn't taking him seriously. Manny is like, you know, really, really in some serious shit over there, putting drug dealers to death. No bullshit. He's killing drug dealers. Not himself personally, but he'll say some shit like, you know, well, you know, they see he's fucking, you know, 500 kilos or some shit of heroin, kill them all, put them all to death. You know, put them in jail and kill them all. It's crazy shit. You know, so then he goes down under, fights Jeff Horn, and gets a controversial decision. Now, I've watched the fight many times. I can see how the fight can go either way. The fight can go either way. You know? I can see how people can say Jeff Horn won. Because remember what I said a long time ago. To understand boxing judging is to understand that each and every boxing judge plays by their own rules. They're all rebels. They're all rebels without a cause. For example, one boxer, right, made love when a boxer like Erislandy Lara or formerly Rigondeaux or Floyd Mayweather moves around. They like, yes, that's the sweet science. Ah, the science is so sweet. Then you'll have another judge, meaning another judge who's judging the same fight, and be like, man, that's some bullshit. He's running. I'm not giving him no points for that. And you may have one neutral judge. Usually you have one judge that get it right. So a lot of people, it may be them judges that judge Jeff Horn winning was like, oh shit, he making Manny look old as shit. Look at him roughing Manny up. You got the other judge who rooted for Manny is like, yo, like Manny is tagging him up with that left hand. Look, he almost stopped him in round 9. You see what I'm saying? That's how it works, man. That's how it works. Boxing is a fucked up sport when you talk about the politics, when you talk about the judging, when you talked about the fucking, you know, mandatories and shit. But that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the 147-pound division as a whole. We're going to talk about why they don't give a fuck, meaning guys like Errol Spence, Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, Keith Thurman. We're talking about why they don't care about a guy like Jeff Horn, even though he has a title, even though he may seem, as people feel, like he's sacred food. You know, for a champion, you would think Jeff Horn's the type of champion where, you know, he's so delicious of a meal that, you know, they would invite the whole family over and shit. You're cooking all day. But the politics with the WBO, and if you notice that Heyman fighters, except under some kind of special arrangements, Heyman fighters, our Heyman fighters, those guys, the current 147-pound champions. Remember, Keith Thurman had the WBC, the WBA, and Errol Spence the IBF. So did you notice that our Heyman fighters don't fight for, or usually are not ranked for mandatories for that WBO title ever since Peter Quillen dropped his title, what, now years back? And the WBO president went to Twitter and tried to rattle on Al Heyman to Senator John McCain. It's still on his Twitter. You had Austin Trout mysteriously at 154 pounds removed from the WBO 154-pound rankings. Technically, he should have been, through politics, he should have got Canelo again in a rematch instead of Liam Smith. Now, a Heyman fighter, Austin Trout, is suing the WBO for God knows how much money. I forgot, I think it's like $30 million or some crazy shit. So the politics in the 147-pound division are deep, and that's the reason why we won't see a Keith Thurman, you know, or a Danny Garcia or Sean Porter or Errol Spence like, oh shit, let's go get that easy work, that easy belt from Jeff Horn. It's too much politics involved. And also, Jeff Horn is an ESPN fighter. You know, as you can see, ESPN are invested in Jeff Horn. They're showing his fight 6:30 in the morning. They showed the full card. If you have the ESPN app, one thing I like about the Top Rank deal is you get to watch the whole entire cards from top to bottom. You know, it's crazy. You know? So now it's been announced that Jeff Horn is going to take on Terrence Crawford in April in Las Vegas. We don't know the exact date yet, but it's penciled in. The shit is done. Is there anybody out there that actually thinks Jeff Horn's going to win that? Hey, listen, in boxing, we've learned that everybody has a chance, and everything's possible when you do God's will, right? That's how it goes. Anything's possible. So I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to be like Jeff Horn's going to get fucked up, even though it's a good chance he'll probably get fucked up. Let's just keep it real, excuse my language. But there's a very good chance he might get fucked up. Now, he got fucked up by Pacquiao. Now, I understand people like, oh, this guy's cursing and everything. Yo, this is boxing. This is a fucked up sport. People get fucked up. Now, you can still get fucked up and win a fight. You just be fucked up. Unless you get fucked up and get knocked out, or you get fucked up and quit. It's a difference. So it's like this. Like I like Jeff Horn because he talking that shit. Let's go back and watch it. It's funny because you can tell he just didn't want to fight. Let's go back and watch it again. Was it no 8-0? Here we go, right here. Getting better with this.
Benji Estevez, acting on the indications from the corner of the challenger, has to call a halt to the contest. The official time, 1 minute, 35 seconds of round number 11. The winner by TKO victory, still undefeated, and still the WBO welterweight champion of the world, the welterweight fighting pride of Brisbane, Queensland, Australia, Jeff the Hornet.
Local favorite, the Queenslander. They held a parade and belt ceremony after his last win. Let's go up to Ben Damon.
Congratulations, Jeff Horn, still the world champion. Gee, we knew he was going to be tough. Did you expect Gary Corcoran to be that tough?
Oh, I knew he was coming here. I knew he had prepared. They'd come 3 weeks early. They were talking a smart game, and that's being confident before the fight, and that's what you have to do to come to try and win. And he definitely pushed me in there. I felt my time was a bit off, but managed to get him out of there in the end.
Were there any worrying moments in those early rounds when he was pressuring you? Did you look like you were starting to get a little bit fatigued, maybe worry about the pressure that was coming at you before you got your second wind?
Yeah, I was just getting my timing there. The whole fight I felt like was a little bit off tonight, but I managed to clip him with a few good ones, and unfortunately our heads did come together, as we've both got cuts on our heads again, so that's a bit of a shame. But yeah, most of it was caused by punches, I'm pretty sure.
Now, Bob Aram's just over here. He told me moments ago that it's time for everyone to book their plane tickets to Vegas because we're off in April. Is Terence Crawford who you want next?
Look, it's a big possibility. If that's what everyone wants to see, I guess that's what's going to happen. It's all the entertainment business, of course.
Must have been nice here in Brisbane tonight, though, walking out as the champion for the first time in front of these adoring fans now.
Oh, it's great being able to defend here as well in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. It's such a fantastic place, and I wish we could bring more fights down here. I would just try as hard as I can to bring all those big fights here with the help of Top Rank and Juco Promotions. So thank you, guys.
Well, congratulations, Jeff Horn. We wait and see what is coming up next.
Yeah, thank you. I'd like to thank my corner team, Ben, Stephen, Adam, my coach, Glenn, Dundee, Kim, my sponsors, Hannay Lawyers, Oxmy Properties, Recon Solutions, Everlast, a whole heap of them. Guys, you do me. You won't be able to train full time as well as Juco. Thank you heaps, guys.
Thank you very much, Jeff Horn. We will have a word, though, with the challenger, Gary Corcoran.
He loves fighting in front of his home fans in Brisbane, but that cash jackpot awaits in Vegas with Bud Crawford. More to come with Jeff Horn's win when we return.
My bad. My shit is freezing up. Not freezing up, but when you add something, you got to restart the whole program. So since I added my new fire intro, shit's slowing down a little bit. So the more I add stuff, I got to slow things down. Wait, let's go back some. Watch some highlights. So for those who are just getting here, Jeff Horn defended his title barely He got the stoppage. You know, he tore dude's eye up. You know, yeah, there was some headbutts. But for the most part here, we're going to go to where the fight was stopped. Let's see if we can watch some of it, right?
Championship fight tonight on ESPN2.
Wait, no.
The jab compared to anything we've seen out of Corcoran.
I see a more rhythmic fighter and a more confident fighter.
As it is Horn coming forward now.
Now, at this point in time,
was Corcoran that time.
Jeff Horn was having some issues.
As he looks to tie up.
Before.
Championship rounds, that's the last thing you can do as the challenger
with
on
his,
the road. And Benji Esteves comes in
trying to get a
and
shot of the eye.
waves this off. Jeff Horn successful in his first title defense. Corcoran was taking a lot of damage, and especially the way that eye was looking.
But you can also see that Horn himself weathered a substantial cut.
Yeah, he had a cut on his forehead, you know, and that one right there you see on the eye. You know, and what we were talking about earlier in the video is, you know, can Jeff Horn hold his own in the 147-pound division? You know, just like Terrence Crawford moving up, he has to fight a champion now. Jeff Horn's the champion. Jeff Horn beat Manny Pacquiao. No matter how you slice it, he beat Manny Pacquiao. Whether you say it was a robbery, he's got Pacquiao's belt. So, you know, Terrence Crawford stepping up. This guy's huge. Normally, Terrence Crawford is coming into the fight a bigger fighter. Right? Now you're going to have Jeff Horn, who's going to be bigger on fight night than Terrence Crawford. Will he be able to stop him? Because one thing about we learned about Jeff Horn now is Jeff Horn just keep coming, you know? He be getting fucked up in there, but yeah, he just keep coming. And he gets that second win. Once he gets that second win, it's just, you know. So the fight's happening in Vegas. And if Terrence Crawford beats him, you know, can Terrence Crawford hang and take the punches of a guy like Keith Thurman? Can he take the pressure and the chin of a guy like Sean Porter? What about Errol Spence? Now, Errol Spence is still needs some solid wins under his belt. With Kell Brook breaking his eye socket and with Lamont Peterson, you know, he's stacking up some nice names. Keith Thurman is on some shit right now where he's like, listen, I don't want to worry about him right now. I want to get a fight to come back. Keith Thurman said he's going to be back in about March or so. You know, the beginning of March, late February, or early March, definitely. You know, he says he wants to get 3 fights in this year, but we haven't seen him fight that much, you know. Yeah, his 2 fights with Danny Garcia and Sean Porter were big, massive, free TV fights, sold-out crowd type shit. You know, and he is the #1 rating getter and #1 consistent view getter right now. Errol Spence holds the #1 overall ratings for PBC with his fight against Leonard Bundu. They put that fight on right after the Team USA basketball won the championship, the gold medal. So once that ended, they rolled straight into Spence versus Bundu, and he just demolished Leonard Bundu. You got Danny Garcia, but Danny Garcia is at a point right now where he's just picking the best fights for himself financially. You got Devin Alexander back in the mix. People may consider him to be a good comeback fight for Keith Thurman. You have Jesse Vargas fighting this Friday on Fox Sports 1. Yes, the Jesse Vargas that lost to Pacquiao, that beat Saddam Ali. He's now fighting on the Al Heyman side of things, you know, and a lot of people think that he may end up getting Keith Thurman. We're actually waiting for confirmation because we're going to be covering that fight. And the weigh-in is tomorrow. It's on Friday, meaning the fight. You got Sean Porter, who is the WBC champion. He's got a broken hand. Well, he broke his hand. I was at that fight on the undercard of Wilder versus Tavern when he beat Adrian Granados. But it's just crazy, you know. And each time you talk about a fighter injury, now you're going to be talking about like how Rigo quit. So the 147-pound division is deep, and it's looking like since there's only 3 champions, it's Errol Spence, Keith Thurman, and Jeff Horn, it's safe to consider that Jeff Horn is the weakest of the champions. However, Jeff Horn does have a lot of money behind him because he has a whole nation behind him, and they're likely going to be traveling to Vegas with him, which makes the Terrence Crawford fight a big fight because Terrence Crawford, Omaha travels with him, and he's going to be fighting for a belt in a whole nother division. So I'm not trying to like disrespect Jeff Hornet. I'm trying to give him credit for what he has done so far. But he's a bully power punching, you know, he's a bully uses his size power punching type of fighter. He doesn't have too much of an amateur background. However, he is an Olympian. You know, so it's not that he's bad, it's just that his style, you know, relies a lot on his heart and not too much skill. But in this business, you need heart. If Jeff Horn broke his hand, would he quit? I don't think so. He seemed like the type of guy who's a school teacher. Phys ed, he teaches phys ed. Or he was, now he's a millionaire. I don't think Kell Brook quit. Kell Brook couldn't see. See, there's a difference like when you get your eye socket broken. Kell Brook got his eye socket broken, and he was seeing like double and shit to the point he went. That's you know, an injury is an injury, but that's a different situation. That's a different situation. Kell Brook proved both of his eye sockets was broken. Riggle's Twitter has been quiet. His Twitter fingers are just faded away. Bud knocks out Horn. It's a different division, though, man. It's a brand new division. You know? And there's now, you know, when Terrence Crawford enters the 147-pound division, and if he beats Jeff Horn, then he's going to likely have a defense, right? And then it's time to start to unify. You know, Terrence Crawford versus Danny Garcia is big. Terrence Crawford versus Adrian Broner is still big. Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence is the fight that fans are like, yo, we want to see that. That's the super fight of them all, correct? Terrence Crawford versus Keith Thurman is big. They both undefeated. You know, there's so many big fights out there for Terrence Crawford. And then, of course, you have Pacquiao out there who's not retired, and Bob Arum is trying his best to get Pacquiao versus Terrence Crawford made. But the middleman, a guy by the name of Michael Kuntz, from my understanding, is in the way. He's Pacquiao's manager. You know, so in a way, it's safe to say that Top Rank is trying to cash Pacquiao out. You know, they're not trying to give him no easy way out. And if you look at it, even though Cotto was with Golden Boy, Cotto wasn't trying to go for an easy way out. They was actually trying to get Errol Spence, Mikey Garcia, even though Mikey Garcia, you know, was smaller, and Golovkin. They tried to get Errol Spence. You got to give him credit for that. So I was surprised that he wasn't looking for an easy test to go out on. So I can expect that, you know, they're not going to let Pacquiao go out on no easy test. It's just that, you know, with his politics, with the stuff that he's doing in politics, he's got to be focused because he's going to get knocked the fuck out, beat the fuck up. These young fighters ain't fucking around. You know, he can't just have a training camp and then go do senator shit. You know? He can't hang with these guys anymore. However, that left hand ain't no myth. But that's the only thing that would save Pacquiao is if he knocked some of these guys out. No, it's not. Put it this way. Like, I got to give every boxer a chance now, because in boxing, we see so much crazy shit. You never know who's going to win, especially when it comes to decisions and shit like that. Terrence Crawford is moving up to a new weight division. You know? A big weight division. A weight division where he hasn't been before. If I'm correct, the most he's ever made weight in, if I'm correct, was like maybe 138, 132. Let's go check real quick. 138 or 142. I don't remember. You know, and these guys are carrying power with them. And a lot of these 140-pounders, 147-pounders could easily be fighting at 154. You know? So, you know? Let's go look at this real quick. Yeah, let's go look at this real quick. 32-0 with 23 KOs, 5'8". He's about 5'8". You know, Julius Ndangu. Felix Diaz. Now, these were both big fights. Unification fight, undisputed, the last undisputed champion since Jermaine Taylor. You had Felix Diaz, was a cross-promotional fight because Felix Diaz is an Al Heyman fighter. You had John Molina, who was an Al Heyman fighter. John Molina just didn't show up. Victor Postol, his first pay-per-view appearance. Hank Lundy was a smaller fighter. Dirijon was tagging him up a little bit. Tomas Delorme just ran down on him. Ray Beltran at 135. So if you look, what's the most he ever weighed in? Okay, we got 139.5 right now. Now, of course, this is according to BoxRec. 142. I think that's the highest he's ever weighed in at is 142. So a lot of times you may see or hear that these fighters are fighting for the first time in the division. No, it's not. They may say now they're moving up or it's the debut at this division. No, they fought there before at like smaller weights. But if you look at it, the guy was that's clearly 147-pound limit. You know? But in this case, he's fighting guys that have been fighting. For example, Keith Thurman has fought as high as 154 pounds. Errol Spence, if you've seen him in person, he can fight at 160. You know? Jeff Horn, on the other hand, just don't. I don't know, man. I don't think he's gonna be able to do it. I'm just keeping it real, man. I don't think he's gonna be able to do it. Yo, my chat, my stuff, my shit is fucking up today. I gotta restart my PC. I'm gonna have to restart my PC. My bad, things are not running as fluidly. We got merchandise coming, podcast coming. The website is getting a major update. You know, we flowing. As you can see, I've been working my ass off. You know, like making sure like we're staying on a consistent schedule. You know, then getting people the fights, and then getting ready for 2018. You know, 2018 is gonna be big, man. You know, we're separating ourselves from the rest. We sat back and watched for, what is it, about 2 years? You know, now it's time to, you know, things are going well. Things are going well. So we're going to be here for another 22 minutes, 23, something like that. We can start, yeah, all the merchandise is coming. We're working on it, you know. As you can see, I've been doing a lot around here. Shit has changed a lot around here. This stuff takes time, y'all, you know. As the saying goes, Rome wasn't built in a day. Let's go look at Jeff Horn's resume. Also, I'm looking for help in Jeff Horn's area. In Australia, Brisbane, Perth, in New Zealand. You know, if you want to go there, we could have had somebody there. We have access. You know, if you wanted to go to the Jeff Horn fights, you want to go to some training camps or some press conferences, I'm sure he's going to have some over there. You know, our contact info is right down below in the description box. Please contact us. You know, make sure you leave your name, your location, you know, and everything like that. So here's Jeff Horn's resume. And in the meantime, we can take a little bit of a break. Because I got to go take a piss. Sorry. I'll be right back. Just 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Not even that. Maybe 2 minutes. Got to wash your hands.
stand over here to your left, my far right here.
It's up to the other side to make sure that that advantage is not an advantage. So if it is a size of advantage, then it's up to us to negate it.
All right, thank you very much. We're going to face off our fighters. Fighters, if we could.
Yeah, rewind fast.
His left hand stance, even though you were.
If he was someone you followed on TV before you eventually sparred each other.
Yeah, he was somebody I followed on TV before I sparred him. You know, I used to watch him and Anthony Peterson watch their fights. I just like their style. You know, I like their defense. I liked how they throw body punches. I like their fundamentals. So, yeah, I did, you know, grow up watching him in the amateurs before I met him.
Okay, so just a follow-up question. I was able to talk to Lamont and Barry beforehand, and they mentioned, you know, training a bit as amateurs and almost described it as a mentor-type relationship, that, you know, they had a lot of respect for you, advised you. Just wondering what it means now to have risen to this level and fight someone who you had seen before and was to some extent, you know, advised you early on.
I mean, I don't really put too much thought in it. I mean, it just, you know, that's the business.
My bad. I'm having some technical difficulty. That's why I kept switching the screen around. But January the 20th, I'm gonna be there. You know, truth be told, I don't even want to go. You know, like as I said before, I do much better work when I cover these fights from home. You know, I'm trying to fix the chat. See, I added some new stuff, and it's got things acting all crazy. So when you add some new stuff, you got to restart your system and everything. You know, there we go. For now, it should be cool. So, Lamont Peterson fights two type of fights. He either can fight a fight where he's going to be running around like he did with Danny Garcia, or he's going to be this brutal, menacing knockout puncher that he's been the last couple of years, especially since he put on all his weight. Now, yes, many people do feel that Lamont Peterson beat Danny Garcia, but if you look at the fight, he was on his bike. Now, the closer we get to the fight, we're going to watch some highlights of it. But he was on his bike. He was doing way too much moving. So I asked Errol Spence a couple of months ago, one of the fights I was at, and I was like, you know, like, are you prepared to fight a fight where basically you're going to have to chase Lamont Peterson around the ring because we don't know when Lamont Peterson going to show up. It's a good thing, you know, but he's two different fighters now. In my opinion, I think that maybe he should play the keep away game with Errol Spence because technically, you know, Lamont Peterson should be the smaller fighter fighting at 140 pounds before, you know, now 147 compared to Errol Spence starting his career at 154 pounds and getting down to 157 and 147. You know? So it depends, you know, but for damn sure, you know, that's a nice setup of fights between Kell Brook and Lamont Peterson for Errol Spence, especially when guys like Danny Garcia won't fight him. Sean Porter won't fight him because Sean Porter and Kenny Porter and Errol Spence kind of close. You know, I talked to Kenny Porter about it, and basically they just won't go that route unless they have to, unless it's on some mega money unification type shit. So therefore, don't expect for Sean Porter and Errol Spence to be fighting each other. And I can understand that, you know. But however, fans are going to be pissed and like, yo, well, Sean Porter's talking about Danny Garcia. Sean Porter's talking about Keith Thurman. Sean Porter's talking about all these other guys, but he's not saying nothing about Errol Spence. Right? You know, so it depends on what type of fight you think that Lamont Peterson is going to fight. Is he going to try to play keep away, or is he really going to try to go out there and try to put hurting and on the younger, you know, and be the veteran to Errol Spence? He's going to go out there and say, yo, I don't care if you've been knocking everybody the fuck out or breaking people's eye sockets and shit. I'm going to come out here and treat you like I've treated my last few opponents. You know? So it all depends. So now we're waiting for who Danny Garcia is going to fight. You know, for some reason, man, I think we go see Danny Garcia versus Mikey Garcia. What if they pull that crazy shit off? You know? But we've heard that Mikey Garcia was supposed to fight Omar Figueroa. Now it seems as though that's not going to happen. Robert Easter is going to be on the undercard of this, by the way. We don't know against who. But Robert Easter is going to be on the undercard of Spence versus Peterson. Along with, it's supposed to be Jamal Charlo. Jamal Charlo, 160-pound Charlo versus somebody in the top 15 of the WBC, likely Hugo Centeno for the WBC interim to be the Golovkin WBC mandatory. I've been here since the beginning. Give me my mind back. Oh, yeah, my bad. I forgot I put you on suspension. You said some dumb shit the other day. But, yeah, let me do it before I forget. You deserved it. You deserve what you got that day. And I'll do it again if you say some shit like that. I forgot what you said. But I know it was worth it was worth reprimanding you. I know it was worth, because I wouldn't have did it. I wouldn't have did it. But welcome back. Guerrero D La Info says, I hope Lamont shows up and forces him to rob him. What? Forces him to rob him against Spence. I'm confused what you say. You say you hope that he shows up to fight Spence and not try to run and hope he don't get robbed? What you saying? I didn't understand what you said. Then there's Bob at the other plans. Okay, let me not. Centeno sucks. Well, here's the thing. This card is turning out to be pretty good. If you have Spence versus Peterson, Robert Easter versus whoever, and then you have Jamal Charlo versus whoever for the WBC interim, it turns out to be a pretty good card, yo. In my opinion. Especially since the fight means something. But however, it all depends on who Robert Easter is going to fight. Here's the thing. I think Mikey Garcia is at a point right now where they're going to give him his own card. So people are going to say, well, it's going to be Robert Easter versus Mikey Garcia. They're not going to have Spence versus Peterson as the main event and say Robert Easter versus Mikey Garcia, when it can be the same card. I mean, when it could be its own card. You see what I'm saying? And the money's not there. It's just not, it's just not there. And there's also, we got to go back and watch it. Let me pull it up for you guys. There's this too. Let me see if I can pull it. There's this too. There's this too. This will always haunt him.
Для нанесения удара. Не удалось, увы. Да, Матис есть Матис. Да не надо, Стив, останови это все. Смотрим, как это было.
Now remember, they said he went out there. Remember, everybody was like, yo, why he coming to the ring looking all scared? And then Danny Garcia was ringside looking kind of scared too. But then Danny Garcia went on the beat Lucas Matisse. But still, this is when Matisse was destroying people. But since this fight, now Lamont Peterson is like this beast that everybody like, yo, we really don't want to fight it because he might beat us the fuck up. So since this, he's become like a different fighter physically and mentally because he'd be huge in the ring now. Heard tonight that Hornet might be fighting Anthony Mundine. That's a big fight over there. That can be like a contingency plan, but I think it's already set, that Jeff Hornet is going to be fed to in a very sacred meal to Terrence Crawford. I think that's, that's really safe to assume. So this is a fight where it was like Lamont Peterson came into the ring scared and everything, and he fought scared. And then now Lamont Peterson is in a, not Lamont Peterson, Lucas Matisse is in a situation where people are like, his soul was taken by Victor Postol. Let's watch a little bit more of this again.
пространство для нанесения удара. Не удалось, увы. Да, Матис есть Матис. Да не надо. Стив, останови это все. Смотрим, как это было. Поцельный совершенно. Смотрите, из какого положения он ударил. Видите, заведено плечо назад. И так это рубанул, как серпом, что называется.
That's no good. But this was years ago. The past is the past, right? You know? The past is the past is the past. The past is the past. He's a different fighter. I can't. It's gonna make me laugh. We gotta get that image off. I can't. Let's get to another image. You know, he was fucked up down there, man. He was fucked up down there, yo. You know what? Lucas Matisse is back. I'm going to be doing a video on that probably tomorrow. You know, the press conference is here on the channel. He's fighting for, what belt is he fighting for? The title. He's fighting for the title, the WBA world title, the title that's under Keith Thurman's title. The title that Lamont Peterson vacated to fight Errol Spence for the IBF. Yeah, that was a bad freeze frame. I didn't mean to do it like that. It just happened, but I couldn't watch it no more. It was going to make me laugh. So we got another 6 minutes or so left. You know, we've been doing real good, man. We've been doing real good. Everything after all these years have finally fallen into place. You know, we got the access to the events. You know, we got the website. The website's undergoing a major facelift in the next couple of weeks. You know, we finally doing what we wanted to do on YouTube, and this was hard. You know, being able to, you know, show this content and to research how to do it properly and to, you know, to tell these people, it's like, yo, man, we're not doing it for the money. We're trying to sell tickets and promote the sport. My job is to educate you and tell you why you should watch these fights. You know, that's why, you know, it won't work if I just was sitting here in a suit and shit and all that. It don't work. You know, we got to talk about the real shit. We need somebody telling it like it is without all the mumbo jumbo. That's my job, is to read all this shit, to watch all these interviews, to watch all these fights, to research all this stuff about the sanctioning bodies, the politics, who won't work with who, why this person can't fight this person and such and such and such and such. And just to regurgitate that shit back up to you. You see what I'm saying? You know, so after this fight this weekend, Billy Joe Saunders versus David Lemieux, you got Anthony Mundine fighting tomorrow morning. It's going to be hell to be able to watch that fight. I believe it's tomorrow morning. We don't have any major boxing coming back until, you know, like January the 20th, this fight. So it's going to be a major drought for the holidays. And in the meantime, I'm going to be refining my brand, and we're going to go into 2018. We're here. We made it. We're doing shit nobody else is doing, and we're keeping it that way. So it's like by the time they catch up, I'm already going to be another 3 years ahead. This is not the end. We got, man, you think I'm going to just sit back and be like, we're done it, you know? We got some major innovative shit planned. People said I fell off. We back now. Go look around. Go look around. Go look around. Tisha Law, that guy that used to do videos from his mom's basement. Go look around. Very good 2017. You know? We got a couple minutes, man. What you want to talk about? I'm done with Lomachenko versus Rigondeaux. I'm done with it. He quit. That's it. It's over. He quit. He's done. Yeah, tomorrow we're going to be streaming the Saunders. Is it tomorrow? Let me check. Tomorrow is the Saunders. I know it's tomorrow. I got to see the time. Tomorrow is the Saunders versus Lemieux press conference. Let me see what time it is tomorrow, because we're going to be watching it here on the channel. Let me see. Yeah, we're going to be here tomorrow for the Saunders versus Lemieux press conference. Tomorrow at this time, the press conference, 12 p.m. Eastern. It's 12:27 now. Oh, I'm hyped for this weekend's fight, man. I hope Billy Joe outboxes him. But at the same time, I know that Billy Joe's got to keep moving. It's good that Billy Joe's taking this fight, you know, so soon after because he fought Willie Monroe September the 16th. Now it's December the 16th. Champions don't usually fight in that short of a time span. You know, so it's good that he's taking this fight because he's still in shape. He had easy work the night Willie Monroe showed up. And now he's got to be conditioned enough to keep moving. He's got to be on his bike this fight. David Lemieux is no joke. You don't want to sit in front of that shit he be throwing. You don't want to be there in front of that. So tomorrow's the press conference. We're going to go more into detail about that fight. Then obviously Saturday night after that fight, we're going to be here live. Did I say I got a podcast coming too? Podcast, I'm thinking about pushing it back to 2018. You know, I'm still researching things, you know, and the first podcast has to be perfect because we're going to be doing a podcast like this. You know, I'm getting some new, you know, stuff. Like I got a new chair coming. You know, we're getting rid of some, you know, we're going to make things a lot more polished around here, getting a new microphone, you know, getting a mic flag, things like that. We're going to make things a lot more polished, but the same format where the chat is going to be here, but I'm going to have live Skype. We got a nice plan. So, you know, I'm wondering who I want to have on the first show. You know, and then the first show is going to be a big one. So I'm thinking about, man, I wonder if we should call up maybe a Freddie Roach or a Tom Loeffler, or see if we can get like somebody from Golden Boy on the line, you know, talk about Canelo versus Golovkin. Because I would suspect that if I'm doing one of these live streams and a simultaneous podcast at the same time, a lot of people are going to be watching this shit. And I just spit. You know, so we're working, man. But thank you. Please subscribe because it's not doing this for my health, man. I've spent thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on this for like 2 years straight. So things are finally starting to, you know, like turn. Not saying they're starting. Things are finally, you know, turned where I can start, you know, generating some revenue. And more importantly, giving the revenue back to you in forms of content and giveaways and giving you guys tickets and signed shit and all kind of stuff like that. T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. Please subscribe.